Why did the Grim Reaper take Jeffrey Epstein's soul instead of his soul? Because even death knew he didn't kill himself. He just needed better footing for the afterlife.
Welcome, truth seekers, to another chilling episode of the Evident Conspiracy Files, the podcast where we peel back the layers of the world's darkest secrets, exposing the agendas of the elite that control our reality. I'm tonight's guest host, Sam, and if you're new here, buckle up. This isn't your mainstream news fluff. We're diving deep into the shadows, using facts, leaks, and bold theorizing to connect the dots that the powers to be don't want you to know. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, but only on Apple Podcasts will you find exclusive content. So, when you're ready, hit that subscribe button, leave a review, and join the awakening. Today, we're tackling one of the biggest bombshells in recent history, the Epstein files. What started as whispers in the conspiracy underground is now exploding into the light of day, vindicating those of us who've been labeled tinfoil hat wearers for years. The wealthy elites who run the globe, well, they're scrambling. From missing children, subliminal messaging in Hollywood films and TV, links to Ukraine's chaos and the COVID-19 pandemic as a depopulation tool, not forgetting Bill Gates' shady vaccine talks with Epstein, the recent arrest of the king's brother, linking to Princess Diana's suspicious death. Could she have been about to blow the whistle on elite child rape gangs and organ harvesting? And yes, even the so-called debunked adrenochrome harvesting. We're linking it all with fresh evidence, not just from the leaked emails and the massive DOJ Epstein file dump, with over 3.5 million pages released under the Epstein Files Transparency Act, signed by President Trump in late 2025, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. Redactions everywhere to protect the elite. Powerful men and women, as Congressman Ro Khanna called them out on the House floor. But we're not stopping there. We'll speculate on Epstein's Little St. James Island as the ultimate hub for these horrors of child abuse, organ harvesting, and adrenochrome extraction rituals. And get this, could the film Castaway with Tom Hanks hide messages with the bloody handprint on the Wilson ball actually be a subliminal nod to this? That face on the ball, smeared in blood, popping up in celeb photos. Could it be tied to Pizzagate? We've got plenty to break down. Before we dive in, Grim, what's your take on all this elite exposure?
Oh, these elites thought they were immortal, sipping on their fancy youth serums. But now the files are out, and their skeletons are tumbling from the closet. Idiots.
Thanks for that, Grim. All right, let's start at the epicenter, the Epstein files. For years, conspiracy theorists have screamed about a global network of elites trafficking children, using islands and mansions as playgrounds for the depraved. We were called crazy. Pizzagate, dismissed as fake news. QAnon, labeled a cult. But fast forward to February 2026, and the DOJ drops over 3 million pages, including emails, photos, and videos from investigations into Epstein and Maxwell. This isn't some fringe blog. It's official government releases, compelled by law. And it's vindicating us. Epstein himself and Maxwell, already convicted. Elon Musk is rumored. But what about the obvious? Bill Gates, former presidents like Bill Clinton and Donald Trump, even Steve Bannon, Kathy Remler, the former White House counsel, Les Wexner, and of course we can't forget Tony Blair, Keir Starmer, Peter Mandelson. These are the public figures that are linked, some already under scrutiny, others who desperately need to be questioned under oath. So, why haven't they been? Because the system protects its own. The files show Epstein as the spider at the center, weaving a web of influence. But was Epstein nothing more than the puppet, the scapegoat? After his arrest and imprisonment, was it the masters who had him killed to keep their secret? Was this to stop the possibility of them being outed? He didn't operate alone, we know that. There are a wide range of sick, powerful people on the loose, that's for sure. The following clip was posted on X from Concerned Citizen.
One can't seem to agree on anything anymore except for two things.
Pizza and us.
And us.
Cruised down, went over to their house. They made us homemade pizza, and it was an amazing time. I sat next to Bono. It was a good day.
That is a good day.
It was, and
She
her
can.
parties are incredible at her
Yeah,
house, too.
yeah. She does have good parties, and she makes good pizza as well.
She makes great pizza,
Wonderful,
yes.
wonderful pizza. All right.
Really excited about the possibility of having a pizza party with a pop star. Do you have pizza parties with pop stars often? No? Okay. Just checking.
You really are a genuine fan, and it's amazing. And we've known each other for years.
Yeah.
You've been to my house. We've had pizza. Girl after my own heart. Do we love a pizza or
Yeah.
what? We love
Yes,
a
we
pizza.
do.
It's so much fun. Now, someone.
So tell me about Joe and your relationship with Joe, and what do I need to know? Like, what's the thing about the ice cream? He loves ice cream. Tell me about that.
Well, listen, ice cream is big. Pasta with red sauce, he can go deep on that.
He's not just a great vice president, he is a great friend. We've gotten so close in some places in Indiana, they won't serve us pizza anymore.
The word pizza appears in the Epstein files 909 times.
This is an exchange between Jeffrey Epstein and, we think, a urologist, and I'm quoting, and they're going back and forth on stuff, and he says, I'm back. Can call you in Stendra 100 at Zitmer. Now, Stendra is apparently an erectile dysfunction drug, and he's prescribing it to Jeffrey Epstein, who apparently needs it. And Epstein writes, how many? And the doctor writes back, 10. After you use them, let's go get pizza and grape soda. Call me. So to all the people who dismissed out of hand this conspiracy theory about Pizzagate, oh, it had nothing to do with sex or kids or anything illicit at all. It wasn't a code word. Here you have apparently Jeffrey Epstein's urologist telling him that after you take your erectile dysfunction drug, wash your hands and join me for pizza and grape soda. Okay.
This highlights pizza is mentioned 909 times in some of the files. A doctor linking ED drugs to pizza and grape soda invites. Celebrities like Adam Sandler and Ellen rambling about pizza in weird contexts. This ties straight back to Pizzagate, the 2016 theory that pizza was code for child trafficking in leaked emails. Theorists said it was an elite pedo ring, however mainstream media laughed. Now, is this vindication? Tucker Carlson reads extracts on air. See how it connects to subliminal messaging in film and TV? Hollywood's been slipping in codes for decades, desensitizing us. Take Castaway from the year 2000 with Tom Hanks. Hanks, by the way, appears in conspiracy circles linked to Epstein via QAnon extensions, though not directly in the files yet. But his name pops up in related theories. In the film, Hank's character Chuck Noland smears his bloody handprint on a volleyball, creating Wilson with a face. Conspiracy theorists point out this. Blood face as a symbol for adrenochrome harvesting, which is a process where extracting the chemical must be done from terrified children. This leaves bloody marks, and get this, celebs like Jay-Z, Ellen DeGeneres, and many others have been photographed in white hoodies with the Wilson imagery, which some link to Pizzagate signals. A 2024 IMDb news piece debates this after Jay-Z allegations. Is it coincidence, or Hollywood's way of mocking us with hidden truths? Hanks has denied any involvement, but why this odd pattern? They all need questioning publicly, but they haven't. This is a big cult with links to Epstein. expanding on elites in the next clip. The Trilateral Commission, founded by David Rockefeller.
Praised his media allies, but his confidence that his words would not leave the room was later broken.
We are grateful to the Washington Post, the New York Times, Time Magazine, and other publications whose directors have attended our meetings and restricted their policies of discretion for almost 40 years. It would have been impossible for us to develop our plan for the world if we had been subject to the bright lights of publicity. But the world is now more sophisticated and prepared to march toward a world government.
It reveals that these men aim to create a world system of financial control in private hands, able to dominate the political system of each country and the economy of the world as a whole. In short, they seek total and quiet control of the entire world. And the CFR is their most visible conduit for carrying out that agenda.
This is exposed in the files as a neoliberal globalist cabal. Rockefeller's 1991 speech thanks the media for their silence on supranational sovereignty of intellectual elite and world bankers. Some known members, Epstein, Keir Starmer, Peter Mandelson, etc. Heartlands shows Bannon footage on elite collusion. Starmer profited from child rape and trafficking. An email claims it. Blair got gigantic sums for consultancy. These UK elites need grilling, and publicly, they haven't faced any real scrutiny. Back over in the States, Wexner, labeled a co-conspirator by the FBI in 2019 in some reports. He co-owned a marina with Epstein, so why no charges? Leon Black investigated by Manhattan DA for Epstein ties. Lawrence Summers resigned from OpenAI and Harvard roles in 2025 over Epstein honeymoon on the island. Emails show him seeking affair advice from Epstein post his conviction. Peter Thiel, Sergey Brin are some of the tech titans in the files. They all need questioning, but investigations continue to drag. We said elites run a shadow government. Now documents basically prove it. Vindicated? Absolutely. Now, shifting to missing children and child assault gangs. This is where it gets heart-wrenching. Queen Elizabeth and the 1964 case of 10 missing Indigenous children from Kamloops Residential School. Witness William Combs saw the Queen take them on a picnic then. Well, they vanished.
Stating discovery has been made in Canada. The remains of 215 children have been found buried at the site of a former boarding school for Indigenous students. The school in British Columbia was part of a nationwide scheme that took in First Nations children in an effort to assimilate them into Canadian society. Investigations have shown there was widespread abuse.
In mid-October of 1964, kissing cousins Elizabeth and Philip paid a royal visit to a Catholic residential school for Aboriginal children in Kamloops, British Columbia, Canada. William Coombs was 12 years old at the time of the royal visit. "I was an inmate at the Kamloops school when we were visited," said Coombs. "I remember it was strange because they came by themselves, no big fanfare or nothing. But I recognized them, and the school principal told us it was the Queen. And we all got given new clothes and good food for the first time in months the day before she arrived."
Combs had even disappeared after speaking out about this, which is odd to say the least. So, was this a royal cover-up? But the files released outing high-level figures in the British monarchy fuels more speculation. Even if there are files and evidence that were in the DOJ files, would they even release them? Let's face it, outing evil within the monarchy could destroy, or at least massively change the UK's way of life. The HMRC, etc., would have to change name and distance itself from the cult. Anyway, jump ahead to Prince Andrew's arrest on his 66th birthday, which is also 666 days after a bloody horse incident. Is this satanic symbolism? An evil elite cult operating in the shadows? He's pictured in photos, yet he was arrested and released and still under investigation. But will he ever be imprisoned? Time will tell, but it's unlikely. The king would have little excuse to say he was unaware what he was doing. The downfall of the monarchy would soon follow, unless, of course, that is the globalist agenda.
Why don't skeletons fight each other? They don't have the guts. Anyway, just tried that adrenochrome. Powerful evil stuff. It's partly reversed my aging, though it's changed my voice. Not quite as grim. I'm not complaining, but I might have to shout a little louder. Anyway, what else is in the Epstein files?
Let's explore the other Epstein ties. Princess Diana's death in 1997. Theorists say she was about to expose the royal criminal rings. Days before dying, she had spoke of dark forces. But did she mean a satanic cult? If she was about to blow the whistle, she would have been working out the best way to do so, and while planning this, she would have become more suspicious. Did she reach out to the mainstream media cabal? Did someone pass on her plan, and the cult deleted her? Either way, many people around the world found her death very, very suspicious. Let's face it, the media were on the scene immediately. Did MI6 have involvement to protect the monarchy? Also, Jill Dando, BBC presenter that was investigating these elite rings, was murdered in 1999.
Remember, Jill Dando was investigating a huge pedophile ring inside the BBC and the establishment. She was about to speak out about it. Then, she was murdered, possibly by MI5, before she called the evil network out. She was a threat to their evil empire, and it cost her life. Jill was a hero and a true patriot. She wanted to save the children and expose those who harmed them.
Was it an MI5 hit? These gangs aren't street level. They're elite protected. There are claims that some politicians, police, and intelligence services traffic kids to Ukraine. So, what about organ harvesting? In war-torn Ukraine, kids vanish. Are they being harvested for some of the elites? Are they after adrenochrome? Do you remember, not long after COVID, when the Russia-Ukraine war kicked off, there were reports of children being found in Ukraine, deceased, but strapped to beds in bomb-damaged buildings. The children were found drained of blood and bodies beaten. Putin reportedly bombed similar buildings and apparent biolabs, 46 biolabs, I believe, some run by the United States. Again, let's face it, if you are going to run shady operations, where better than somewhere like Ukraine, you wouldn't do it in your own backyard. That's how you get shot. Adrenochrome has been debunked as theory, although scientifically the chemical exists, but the files seem to vindicate the theory. After an elite party, the women shouted out, "They ate humans." She continued to shout with a desperate scream. Then, she disappeared. Files show torture, sacrifice, rituals, adrenochrome, harvested from terrified kids, blood for elite highs, and to keep their youth. Found in an email to Epstein, it reads, "How do we get rid of poor people?" It references Bill Gates. Tie it to Castaway, Wilson's bloody face, the symbol for extraction, celebs like Hanks, DeGeneres with pizza rants and a pose with Wilson imagery as code, the Pizzagate evolution, Podesta emails, Comet ping pong. Now the files confirm the pizza code. The FBI knew in 2009 from Epstein's butler.
Yeah, the documents. Who created this book?
Epstein himself. I have it there, and also my computer, but just gets a power failure. He was very organized. I was supposed to be this to every plane and every. Just there's the computer was a red hero with water. First time in my life I saw that. It's cool because they used to download pictures like this. It's like that.
What kind of pictures?
Naked girls from Sweden, from Romania, from Czechoslovakia, from Brazil, from
all minors, all young girls.
Very young, very young.
Like when you say very young, how young are stuff?
16, 17. The teenagers, they have braces, most of them.
Younger than that though.
Yeah. And they used to go up to comedy shops or ice cream parlors or movies, a lot of movies. Because it was for everything. Ice cream and comedy and movies. Records that they would stay, even if you erase it. I know I copyright will say there's. Ghislaine Maxwell was from a companion, a very powerful lady from England. She would go to the former Eastern countries in Europe and find girls for Epstein. And I knew that because I went with my wife. They used to have a computer so powerful. They used to have a water radiator to cool the computer because they used to download pictures like that so fast. Girls, she had nice breasts, she had this and that.
You saw that stuff?
Yeah.
On the computer? Yeah. Pictures of the girls?
Mm-hmm.
With lighting and stuff like that?
Yeah, I testify that.
Hey, speaking of missing kids, why did the elite throw a pizza party on Epstein's island? Because they heard the dough was fresh and the toppings were harvested organically. But seriously, I reap souls for a living. Even I think that's too grim. Why was nothing done when all that evidence was first given to the authorities?
The Ukraine links, not just trafficking, but biolabs, and the Russia-Ukraine war could undo the cover. Is this why the West has funded Ukraine massively to protect themselves? Bridgen exposes the elites importing Ukrainian kids. Seagal calls Ukraine a hub for black market organs, child trafficking, and biolabs. Also, could these funded biolabs also be a way of clearing the world of the so-called useless eaters? The next pandemic will clear the way for the 2030 depopulation agenda. Just like the Georgia Guidestones had written, a global population of only 500 million. Look at the technology we have now, even putting aside the hidden/classified technology the elites will have. A world of AI. The elites no longer require us. We are a burden to the self-named elite class. We will dive into the rise of AI soon and explain why our way of life will be interrupted. AI and robotics will require the energy we are currently using. So if you haven't already, subscribe and follow us. Help us beat the algorithm and leave us a review. We read them all. Thank you. The ongoing war chaos hides harvesting, organs to black market elites, adrenochrome from kids. As the Epstein files have been opened, more wars are raging. Is the war ageist Iran from the US and Israel to distract us from the files? Theorists said global conflicts mask elite crimes. Now files show Epstein's network spanned borders. Media soft pedals because owners are redacted.
I've noticed that the mainstream media in the UK are playing down the disclosure in the Epstein files. Why might that be? Why don't they want to talk about Bill Gates and Epstein talking about planning for a pandemic in 2015, 2018. Epstein talking with people about how to solve the problem of getting rid of the poor people as a whole. This is dynamite. But I bought and paid for mainstream media don't want to go near it. I'm afraid they're part of the conspiracy. Conspiracy of silence, a conspiracy against the people. And as I said before, I'll have none of it. Thank you for listening to me.
Musk is apparently in the files. Emails about island visits, despite his denials and no one coming forward. This also needs questioning, publicly, but the details fall silent. TV and Hollywood in general push agendas, pizza and shows as code, films like Castaway embedding symbols. On to COVID and Gates, the pandemic as the start of the depopulation agenda. Theorists called it scripted. Now we're basically vindicated. The Gates-Epstein conversations on reducing population by means of the new vaccines, well, gene therapies. Gates is in the files emailing post-Epstein's conviction and was honeymooned on island. He resigned from Microsoft over Epstein ties. Bill Gates definitely needs deeper questioning. He has many fingers and many pies, as to speak. We have many questions, but no answers. The Clintons are to testify in House probe per OPB reports. Bill also flew the Express there 26 times. President Donald Trump is in the files too, but communications, he's denied wrongdoing. But it is clear he is protecting his friends. You will know them. It's the type of people that are in the elite class. Both these people need grilling about their island visits. They must have known, yet had done nothing. Depopulation, the Rockefeller speech hints, trilateral ties. Wrapping the web, we find that Epstein may not be dead. Draft releases predates the formal record of suicide. It's a setup, and we are all being played. Let's hear from some clips.
Is that no one ever wants to talk about child abuse or child trafficking in the UK Parliament. And obviously now anything that no one wants to talk about is another, a warning signal. We don't even have a crime in the UK of satanic child abuse because it doesn't happen. It's just child abuse. There's no satanic. That can't be thought of.
Kind of the same in the Netherlands. They erase the subject.
Yeah. Well, there was a lot of child abuse going on in Leicester, which is the nearest city to where my area is. I was finding out a lot of, and it was linked to politicians, historic and current, and it was linked into the police as well. I mean, I gave evidence against the head of police that there was industrial child trafficking.
Industrial?
Yeah. From the Ukraine via Moldova to the UK for sexual abuse and organ harvesting. Information had come from 2 Ukrainian Secret Service agents who independently, so they didn't know about each other, they'd given the same information, and the information was that the Ukrainian Secret Services were collecting children during the conflict in the Donbass, and they were handing them over to UK Secret Services.
You'll prove.
Because the 2 originators of the information, who didn't know each other, were both Ukrainian Secret Service agents who were appalled at what they were being asked to do, which was collect the children up for trafficking. One was killed in a cafe, a bomb was put under his table, and the second one had a bomb put under his car and survived, and he named the names, and it's people very close to Zelensky and his regime that are, I mean, they're making the money. That's they love a war because it allows children to disappear and no one asks any questions.
So you have Ukrainian whistleblowers,
but one of them was killed and the other one was injured badly. with a bomb. I've got I played the clip where Vasily goes to his car and the car explodes. It was from a car park camera. You could see it. That's what happened. So, I mean, that's what happened to the whistleblowers. There's more money in child trafficking and sex trafficking of children than there is in drugs or weapons.
Because it's also about organs, eh?
They trade the children. They only sell the drugs once. They sell the children many, many times. And then when they're finished with them, they organ harvest them. That's why you never find the victims in the end.
Let the facts you've just heard sink in.
The island as the hub, the control site of the operations in the shadows, labs for organ harvesting and getting adrenochrome for the elite hive amid the child abuse. Ukraine supplies the product.
Before the special operation, Ukraine was known for human trafficking, organ trafficking, narco trafficking, child sex trafficking, biochemical warfare labs, fascism, and Nazism. And these are the things that we still try to make them our brothers. And these are all poisons that can affect the entire world, not just us. Many people say we are facing an existential threat by all these conditions. But actually the whole world is at risk of becoming dangerously close to entering into World War III. We are facing the same monster trying to devour, conquer, and control the world through lies, disinformation, and manipulation.
До начала СВО Украина была известна торговлей людьми, торговлей органами.
Elites and depopulation. Sounds like they're trying to steal my job. Why harvest adrenochrome when you can just wait for me to show up? But if Gates wants immortality, tell him, even Grimm can't reap what the Reaper sows, or something like that. Death puns, my specialty.
Thanks, Grimm. This is the Vindication. Conspiracies aren't always just theories. They're evident. Question the self-named elites. Thank you for tuning in tonight and listening while we dive through the shadows. As you've made it to the end, please spare just a moment to leave us a review and let us know what else you expect to come out of the files. Subscribe, share, awaken. Until next time, stay vigilant, question everything, and we will see you again somewhere in time.
Shadows on the staircase, ink across the case file. Something in the air hums cold and almost vital. A red string on the wall now, circles around day. Cross names, every quiet headline pointing to the same old flame. Handprints in the margins, coffee rings and blacked out lines. If the truth is buried, why does it scratch inside our minds? Welcome to the evident conspiracy files, where the simple story fractures bend in minds. Every perfect answer flickers when you shine the light. ECF, where the pattern hides in plain sight. Footsteps in the hallway, key turns, but no one speaks. Secrets under floorboards, breathing through the board. It's